Hey everyone, hope you're doing well and staying drama free from all the gambling Twitch drama. If you don't know, consider yourself lucky. Anyways, we are back with another review of Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice, released back in 2017, developed by Ninja Theory, owned by Microsoft. Ninja Theory helped develop Devil May Cry in the past and Enslave Odyssey to the west, so if you guys heard of those games and you like them, you might check this one out. But if you're thinking about buying Hellblade, let me crush your dreams real quick. Don't buy it.
You need to leave!
I want to start off with a small channel update. I was posting a playthrough series of this game, but I don't really like the quality of it, and I don't think it's as enjoyable as my reviews. Maybe it was just this game, but let me know if you want to see the rest of the playthrough, or if you like the idea of playthroughs of other games in the future. For now, I'm going to focus on the reviews whenever I can get to them. Speaking of, this is probably the first game I'm going to break away from the popular opinion. I like to think that I'm an average gamer and my reviews are short, concise, and give you a quick synopsis of this game and if it's worth it or not, while assigning an arbitrary score to it. And let me be blunt, this game kind of sucks. It's a decent story, although it can be kind of confusing at times, but the gameplay is just downright boring. If you guys thought it was harsh on A Plague's Tale, this might be worse for you. The story starts off with, you guessed it, Senua. She's a warrior from Scotland on a quest to rescue her lover's soul from the Norse gods, specifically Hela. Now, the story isn't terrible, that's not my gripe with the game. It deals with mental illness, I think, incredibly well, and it has a good theme about overcoming your darkness to triumph. The story, it presents itself in pieces at times, which can kind of seem confusing, but over time, as you play through it, you start putting the pieces together, and it flows really well. I think they did a good job about making you care for Senua and showing crazy situations and how courageous this character is and still progresses through their journey. I could count 100 times I would have noped out of saving my non-existent lover's soul. It's really hard to dive deep into the story without spoil it and me butchering some Norse mythology. I don't consider myself an expert in Norse mythology. My knowledge basically equates to Marvel Thor movies, which Love and Thunder suck, by the way. It's a very linear narrative experience. I would say this is another cinematic experience, as most of the games is just cutscenes or walking around solving puzzles. The only problem is it's going from a great looking cutscene to awful gameplay. But let's stay on the positive for a second. The game looks fantastic, as everyone is saying. That is not a question here, and the environment doesn't feel repetitive throughout my playthrough, and there's plenty of breathtaking moments. I know my video might not do it justice, which I am planning to fix in my next review, but this game is a wonderful piece of art. Voice actors did a pretty good job here. I think Senua, the voices in her head, and most of the main cast nailed it. I do really despise the choice to use live characters or what seems to be live action shots in this game. It really just breaks your immersion and it doesn't fit the art style at all. I don't get why they chose to do this instead of just making a model of the actor and doing the same actions. Your game already looks great. Why did you do this? Okay, that was the positives. Now for the negatives. Starting with combat. The combat is just so basic. It feels like I'm playing an original Xbox game. You can do combos, but that's about it. You have a light attack, a heavy attack, a shield break, block and parry. I feel like this is the minimum for any combat game involving a sword. You even get a different sword later, which I can't dive into too much as it's mild spoilers, but there are 0 new combos. Nothing changes. The gameplay is the same through the whole story. No upgrading, no crafting, no looting, just a linear story with the same moves and the same sword from the very start. There is a difference with the new sword. There's one difference, but it really doesn't make an impact on the game. But Death Pop, you say? You said it yourself. It's a linear story. Alright, fair enough. So let's hope the puzzles through the story make for some fun gameplay, right? Wrong. The puzzles are also really basic, and there's like only 2 that I struggled with. One was admittedly very cool, as there were gates that change your perspective, and the layout of the map, which kind of reminded me of Superliminal, which was one of my first reviews. Go check it out. It reminded me of that, and I thought it was really fun to explore. The second was just total darkness kind of puzzle, and I struggled because I couldn't see. I would say all the rest are forgettable and pretty easy, and I'm pretty dumb sometimes, but I do love a good challenging puzzle. The puzzles are pretty jarring at times, in a sense that it pulls you straight out of the immersion. You're being chased by some monster with fire spreading? Quick, find pictures on the wall. Like, really? That's the best they thought of? I don't know. I think the gameplay is super bland in multiple areas, and it's just not fun. And to me, that's the whole point of video games. It's to have fun and maybe have a good story to go along with it. I don't want to make this a bashing video on this game, because I still think it's not terrible. It's just pretty mediocre. I think I made my point pretty clear though. The story is decent, gameplay's pretty trash. I would give the story a 7 out of 10, gameplay a 5 out of 10, so my final score is going to be a 6 out of 10. Good story, bad gameplay, buy it on sale, or preferably play it on Game Pass. See you on the next one. Subscribe, you nerds.